Wholeness. Welcome to Runes of Silvertree. This is Silvertree here. Merry Wednesday. As always, Wednesday is the day of Mercury, the day of communication, the day of connection, the day of transmission. And I welcome you here. Welcome, welcome. In this intro, I was very pushed to share this message immediately. Usually beforehand, I do a 30-minute meditation and fire meditation, to get in alignment to receive downloads and transmissions. But I was guided to not even bother with this message. Before we get into it, please, as always, check out Sika, wonderful prophetess. Check out her Zen Wombs channel. And also, I have jump-started my third YouTube channel called Seeds of Silvertree, where I get into how to make your own clothes, conscious clothes, how to do woodworking, and how to create conscious art. So it's a very conscious channel focused primarily on skill set, and there's a lot of more spiritual talk on that channel, a lot of one-on-one with me. I'm in front of a camera and just connecting with you through creativity and building my own skill set and sharing that experience and journey with you. So please check that out, as well as my music channel called SLVRTR. I'm posting a lot of live music, using voice and my loop pedal. That's all, and very little digital manipulation with that. And so I look forward to connecting with you. And as always, if you have any questions, please leave a comment below. And I made this message find you well and whole. Let's get started. So for today's energy vortex, okay? The energy vortex is made of the mind, the heart, the body, the mental body, the mentat, the emotional body, and then we have the physical body, our physical vessel, our physical reality, what is solid, what is real, compared to what, I'm not sure, but what is real to us in this physical world, in the material world. For the first rune that I pulled for the mental body of the human collective, I pulled the broken arrow, okay? But the energy that came through with the mind body of the human collective is the standalone man. Okay, this is a strength rune. This rune represents strength. This rune represents adversity. Standing alone, but standing firm in your beliefs and your thoughts and your consciousness. Standing firm with your 2 feet on the ground, grounded, integrated in your purpose, in your earth star. And then you see the broken arrow. One broken energy moving left, another broken energy moving right, going in opposite directions and causing a bit of confusion. There's a bit of confusion here I see, and I'm feeling collectively. But again, that confusion is that time period all throughout 2021 specifically, because whenever there's 5 energy in numerology, there's a bit of confusion. There's movement though. Right? It's almost like someone takes confetti and they throw it up. I'm getting a vision here, or a visual. Someone's throwing up confetti or dust. I'm seeing dust. Okay, like a dust storm. Yes, like a haboob. In the Southwest or desert places around the world, there's usually, on a rare occasion or a season of it, where you have a big body of just pure dust that's picked up and accumulated by that wind energy. So that earth and wind energy are mingling together, and it's causing a bit of ungroundedness in our thought and our thinking. All right. And so what you do to stay strong and to stay firm and in place is, obviously you want to seek shelter, but you take a scarf, you take something and you shield yourself and you block the sand or the dirt or the filth from entering into your airways. Okay, so a lot of earth energy, but a lot of wind energy. And once we get through this haboob, this dust storm, okay, the dust settles again, the cloud breaks up, the sky becomes clear, and there's clarity. I see clarity and I see strength in this rune. Next, for the emotional body, again, confusion, the headless man, a man with his head cut off. Okay, the crown is gone. The mentality is gone. The thinking, the ability to use logic, rationality, critical thinking, analysis is gone, and there's just body. All right, I'm seeing a lot of pleasure centers here, but I'm not seeing the head. I'm not seeing a leader. And that to me is slightly concerning in a way, because this is our emotions. When you can't lead your own emotions and you're walking around just being guided by your emotions, but not critical thinking or not in sovereign thought, that causes a very serious imbalance. Okay, there must be balance between mind, body, heart, mind, body. There must be that fluidity. And when we are deep into our emotions, when we're led without direction, that causes deep confusion, a sort of misplacement, if you will. And that's something that the human collective is kind of going through right now. We also are entering into the full moon. The full moon portal is alive. The portal opened up yesterday, as I said before, 3 days before the full moon, 3 days after a moon day, 3 days after or before a moon day, and then 3 days after a moon day it closes. Okay, it's a portal. It's 7 days. And typically you don't want to do a lot of moon or a lot of intentional energy work on the week of the moon portals being open, because of the emotional body of the collective. There's a ton of energy during that time. Anytime you're wanting to set new intentions, you do it a week before the new moon. Anytime you want to release something, you do it before the full moon. That way you have that energy vortex around whatever you're trying to manifest or to relieve yourself of. Because whenever you're doing it in the portals open, there's all kinds of energies working with you, around you, through you, that you may or may not be conscious of, depending on where you're at in your journey and with your personal practice. So it's all about being consistent with yourself when it comes to any kind of energy work. So this rune here, when it comes to the heart and the emotional state, right now, the human collective, there's slight confusion. There's a lot of emotions are creating, and I'm really getting to a point where I'm distancing myself from the illusion of quote unquote news. Okay, distancing myself, and you should as well. I mean, if it resonates, distancing yourself from the whereabouts and know-abouts of what's happening, the events that are taking place around the world. I'm going through the YouTubers that I follow on this platform, because everything that you consume consumes you, right? Everything that you tie into, it ties into you as well. So you have to make sure that whatever you're emotionally being triggered or taught or connecting with is serving your higher good. Know and study these messages and the people that deliver such messages very well, and always number one, source is number one, and keep that in alignment here, because if you don't, you get lost. I see just someone just walking around and lost in a sea of emotions, and yes, following your intuition is very important, but I feel like that's different. I feel like emotions, emotion, energy, and motion. It's different. It's just energy. But so once you're led by just certain types of energy, and there's no balance with the mind, there's no balance with the body, you're out of touch with your body. It's just, it can be very dangerous and very misleading. So you need to make sure that you tune in with source number one, always. And know that everyone outside of yourself is a reflection of you, and everyone outside of yourself has their own sovereign way of expressing their experience as a human being. Remember that we are all interdimensional beings. We have access to multiple, infinite amount of timelines. You have to be careful without getting stuck in certain timelines and then manifesting that into your present reality, because our emotions are so strong right now at this time. We're coming at the end of the year. People are reminiscing of, what they've done, where they're going, what's happened this year. Have they met all their goals? And you're thinking of the goals that, they want to accomplish next year. They're thinking of where they're at now. A lot of the time, there's just a lot of stress at the very end of the Gregorian calendar. Yes, I said Gregorian calendar because this is what the Western world uses. It's not the calendar of the cosmos. It's Gregorian calendar, okay? Named after a man. Just make sure you need to understand that. Please look up the definition and where the Gregorian calendar comes from, why we use it today. So just understand that we're entering into in the synthetic world of, the Matrix or whatever you want to call it. I know what world I choose, and that's the natural and organic one. That's the path I feel I feel called to. But know that this is just a time of a lot of emotional stress. That's what I'm getting for the human collective. You have people who don't have enough money to get the holiday gifts. You have people who are worried about, solidifying a job, worrying about, there's a lot of anxiety. And then also, of course, the whole COVID thing and the V shot, that they're wanting this is coming through. So I'm seeing a headless person that's cut off from their emotions too. Okay. I see someone, so this headless man or person, headless body, is like someone that has no control over their body, someone who has no control over their own emotional state. The head is gone. The crown is gone. The third eye, intuition, gone. The ability to speak your truth is gone. And this person's just walking around like a zombie. That's what I'm seeing. Okay, so there must be balance. And then you see the energy of 3, 1, 2, 3, right? And it's almost like a 3-legged chair. That's what I'm feeling. Like there's an imbalance. Either you're too much into your emotions or you're completely cut off from them. And the lesson in this rune is to be the observer of the emotion and allow yourself to be the processor of emotion. Meaning, yes, observe, but don't cut yourself off. Yes, process the emotion, but don't lose yourself in that space. So this is very important at this time. We're entering into the end of the Gregorian calendar and into the year 6. So from the number 5 to 6. So from chaos to something that's possibly a lot more stable and I feel like next year is going to be, the next Gregorian year is going to be incredibly stabilizing for many, because people are going to become more and more solid in their truth. And the following year, the year 7, again, as a human collective, according to the Gregorian calendar that we use, that only has 12 months, because there's different timelines. Don't get stuck in any of them. Just be an observer, okay? 7 is that spiritual number. And then you have 8, 9, and then, so in a couple of years, we're going to be in this, we're going to be ending a cycle soon and entering into yet a new vibrational frequency, which is happening now. Okay. But what I'm getting from this rune here is don't tie yourself into timelines. Okay. A lot of the time we receive messages and downloads and transmissions from source, and it can be a very dangerous thing. I feel like I need to share this to get stuck emotionally and tied up into certain timelines. Okay, because once you do that, you're pretty much obliterating any and all other possibilities. Anything is possible. All is possible, whether it be negative or positive, whether outcome serves you or it doesn't. All is possible. All is infinite. And when you tie yourself to one timeline or two different timelines, but usually it's one, okay, it's like you limit yourself. You limit the power of your own consciousness. And I find that the human collective is being asked to stop doing that and know that all is possible by being present in the now. Be present in the emotions now, in the here and now. Don't diverge into the result of where something may be going or where it's been. Those are only clues and those are only possibilities. The only moment that is true and real is now. There's a saying that just came to me. To know the future is to be trapped by it. Don't be trapped. Don't be trapped. Okay? And last but not least, the last rune for the body. Okay. I'm seeing a cup upside down. All emotions are being emptied out. This makes a lot of sense. When, your cup is full, the whole saying of a cup half empty, or is a cup half empty or half full, right? And I'm seeing the whole thing is dumped. The whole thing has just been flipped on its head, okay? Everything has been being poured out. And okay, I'm hearing sea of emotion, okay? Emotional turmoil, worldly lust, personal realizations. Acquaintances and friends will no longer side with each other. Okay, this is like a division of truths here. It's like once you dump the cup of the old water, or once you dump this out, whatever's being dumped on a collective level, there's no turning back. You can't, it's almost like you flush something down the toilet, you can't bring it back up again. You can't, you flush shit down the toilets and that shit's not coming back up, right? This is it. It's like a completion. It's like, it's finished. It's done. There's nothing you can do. And I see glass. I see glass. And glass is different than a mirror, right? A mirror, you see your own reflection. Glass, it's like you don't know it's there until you physically bump into it. And it's an illusion. It could be very, very tricky. All right, let's move on to the sigil. Okay. Now I just felt, this came to me, oh my gosh, several days ago. And I like to study, I like to just look at the image and just, allow whatever source is showing me to just speak to me. This is the sigil. I see a standalone man outside of a containment, and then I see the headless man inside, trapped in this shelter. I'm going to call the cup shelter, okay? And for those of us that are choosing, okay, this is what I need and would like to share, and I feel like, Source One is guiding me to speak on this, and I've known this for quite some time, for years, actually. And it wasn't until Source guided me to create the runes 2 years ago. It wasn't until Source guided me to start my YouTube channels, and it wasn't until Source guided me to share this and these downloads with you. We all know that there is a major split in consciousness right now. And I've been fighting this to share this for months, okay? Maybe for almost 2 years, several months. I have not wanted to talk about this subject for a while. I'll watch other people, who resonate, and I'll talk to my, friends and whatnot about it from time to time. But it's the great separation and great division of frequencies. I'm one that I don't believe in duality. There's only oneness. There's only wholeness. And we are all unique. I seek infinite consciousness as a mirror that's broken itself into trillions of little pieces. And we are that across the multiverse, not just universe, multiverse, where we're all fragments of this beautiful mirror, and we're all reflecting back to each other and coming together slowly, bit by bit, so that oneness can know itself and learn itself in its own unique way. And so we're becoming less and less and less and less fragmented and becoming whole again. And so for me, living in a reality that is full of duality and separation and illusion and, black and white, male, female, good, bad, happy, sad, differences and uniqueness and sovereignty and all these things that labels, names, groups, categories, it's overwhelming for some energy beings here. And I'm speaking on my behalf, and maybe I'm speaking on your behalf, my dear one, whoever's listening to this, that you come into this world and there's just so much contrast. Everything is so divided, right? And I'm just coming back to that truth, because we're programmed to agree to those stories. We're programmed to believe in the white and black. We're programmed to believe in the races and ethnicities, and we're programmed to believe in what is evil, what is good. We're programmed to believe what is what is ethical, what is not, what is moral, what is immoral. We're programmed and programmed and programmed until you're programmed so much so that the soul overrides that limited belief, and you expand your consciousness beyond that, and you no longer are fitting into that limited system. And so I share with you today that here's the reality of it. In this world, in this reality, it's so polarized. It's so polarized that there's a great division. The frequencies are literally becoming less muddy, and they're just matching right now. It's like a great cosmic, or I would say global matching game, the great global matching game of frequencies and vibrations. If you're vibrating in a certain frequency, then you're going to find your match, and the match is going to find you. Whether that's low or high or loving or hateful, everyone's going to receive exactly what they put out. All the way down to your inner, most personal thoughts, your feelings, emotions, the health of your body. Everything is literally, it's a great global matching game, human collective. It's really weird for me because Source is like, it's a kind of a dichotomy right now, because it's a unification of meeting your vibrational match, but it's a separation from what doesn't match to you. It's almost like that app that they have in the VR. I'm just going to call everything online virtual reality from here on out. Make my life easy and it makes it simple for you to understand what I'm talking about. In virtual reality, because there's organic reality and virtual reality. In virtual reality, they have these apps you can download to date people, and it's called Bumble and some other. I tried Bumble like several months ago, and it's not my thing. I was just curious as to how that virtual reality worked, because you just look at someone's picture and you swipe left, right, left, right, left, right, match, you match, and then you see what happens next, right? Needless to say, I don't use that. I'm blessed to have a beautiful being with me. He's a profound being. But needless to say, it's like that. It's kind of like, it's like a vibrational match with your food, a vibrational match with your thinking, what you watch, and what you consume from the virtual reality. Vibrational match with your friends and family and their paradigms and belief systems. Because it's just something that it's literally something that we can control, but we can't. It's like your core being. What is the frequency of your core being? And that's why it's so important more than ever to get in tune with your core. Because meaning your energy vortex. Because when you know you're vibrating mentally, emotionally, and physically, and that's in balance with one another, it'll be like water, it'll be fluid, starting a new job. It'll be fluid starting a new relationship. It'll be fluid starting projects and businesses, because it's a vibrational match to you. Or, if you're vibrating at a space of negativity and hate and sickness and destruction, maybe you're one to destroy jobs, and you're one to eat poison and poisonous foods, and you're one to consume garbage, and it's like the inner war that we've all had to face on our journey as a human in this reality. It's kind of coming to a close, this war. There is no war on my consciousness, because I know what I chose. When you can ask yourself, okay, am I at war with myself? In what ways am I at war with myself? If you can ask that question, ask yourself that question, you'll see the way out. Now let's get back to the sigil. For those that are of the organic reality. Oh, yes, one more note, okay? Because I'm entering in the space of polarity because of this whole great shift of the vibrational frequency shift that's happening right now, where people are having to make decisions and choices, which I personally don't believe that it's a end goal. Like, I don't believe that once you make one decision one way, it's going to be harder for you to leave it or to enter into another. Because again, if you know what you are and who you are as an infinite, interdimensional being of consciousness, then there's nothing to fear. Okay? Unless you believe you're a limited being, then you will be limited into whatever reality that you so choose. So, I see the man standing, this energy outside of this dome. It's in the shape of a dome. The man out there, out in the natural, organic world, you're going to need to be strong. You're going to have to be strong. You're going to have to be self-sufficient. You're going to have to be knowledgeable of that natural and organic world. This is not easy. This is not an easy path. Eat both. When I'm seeing the two energies here. The energy outside of the dome, there's adversity. There's, like I mentioned in the Rune reading, there's adversity, there's wind. So there's going to be a lot of things going against you, but you're going to be strong enough to handle that shit. You're going to be strong enough to stand your ground in whatever that may be, whether that's violence, whether that's mystical, spiritual, evolutionary experiences. You're going to be strong enough to embrace all of that. However, you, with the dome here, okay, you're not going to have the access you think, or no, the access into the synthetic virtual reality. I'm seeing you're going to be able to override it. You're going to be able to override the energy. But there won't be any need for you to go and enter into the virtual reality. The being inside the dome, ooh, buddy, okay. Your head's gone, meaning you're not in control. In your head, zombie, you're controlled. You're controlled. And your mind is the dome. You become the dome. You become the illusion. But you have no self-awareness. There's no consciousness. It's gone. In last week's reading, I talk about wearing the crown of deception. You remember that? Yes, the crown of deception. That's where it leads you. Is this the end-all, be-all? No, because I also see a doorway. Not just a dome, but I see a doorway. There's always a way out. Why? Because we are infinite, interdimensional beings of consciousness. Consciousness cannot be imprisoned. You cannot. That's what they're trying to do, which I find the elite, or the entities, I should say. The entities, like they're trying to capsulize and freeze consciousness itself. I find that entertaining, to be quite honest, and arrogant as all get out. It's so arrogant. Really? You think that you're wow. With all your technological advancements, you really think that you can, and guess what? I'm not saying that it's not gonna work. That's not what I said. I'm saying, from what source is showing me, it's just this like they're trying to put a lid on it, like the cup. They're taking a glass cup, they're trapping consciousness. But the man with no head, like when the man inside the dome, oh my goodness, I'm seeing the man inside the dome evolving past this limitation. He is beyond the dome. Either way, the organic reality versus this the virtual reality, the synthetic reality, either way, evolution of consciousness is unavoidable. I see it. I see a doorway for the man that they trap, for the being, for the person, the body that they try to capsulize. They're going to open up a portal that's going to actually free everyone. They're going to open up something like through this virtual reality. I feel like people are going to be able to evolve past this limitation in this virtual reality. There's going to be a switch, a huge switch, and someone, maybe a small group of people, are going to be able to override the program, just like Neo. He was able to override the program in the Matrix. He was no longer trapped by it. He could go between the natural and synthetic world. So the bigger message here is no matter what you choose, you will evolve regardless. That's why I'm at this point, it's like I can't look down on anyone who wants to be part of the virtual synthetic world. I can't look up to anyone who wants to be part of the natural and organic world, because we're all moving in the same direction. We can tell ourselves a different story, but because believe me, there's a lot of ego in that natural organic world. Many people are going to want to be the leader of this new natural, spiritual, organic world. I'm the best one. I'm the leader. I'm the spiritual guru. I'm this. I am. Follow me, follow me, follow me. I'm seeing that. And that's part of that adversity, where you're going to have to be very strong in your decision in the natural organic world, because not everyone is going to be is trustworthy. People will become very confused. And people will be confused in the synthetic world as well. I'm not saying that we're all screwed, but it's like I'm being the advocate here for both of these energies that I'm seeing. There's a false sense of security in this synthetic virtual world. Many people will be asleep. They have no head. Many people will lack self-awareness. So they're just going to be doing things just to do it, and they won't know why they're doing it. I don't even like this. Why am I doing it? And they won't be able to help themselves. But there's going to be a glitch in the system. There's always a glitch in the system. In the natural organic world, there's going to be a glitch in the system. Both of these are simulations, by the way. Both of them are simulations. There's nothing, that's the thing about this whole dualistic, polarized view of, when it comes to spiritual hierarchy, one can't be above the other. That's an illusion as well. It's a very dangerous one. When you let that go of this needing to label what is loving, what is hateful, what is good, what is this, what is that, then you're truly liberated. But I see trouble and I see success in both spaces. There's going to be bots that will be interjected into the natural and organic world. And if you're strong enough in the organic world, if you're strong enough, you're going to know the difference, because each are going to plant. They're going to try to override the other. So you're going to have people, beings in one side try to infiltrate the dome of virtual reality. And then you're going to have beings in the virtual reality infiltrate the natural organic world, and both will, destruction to both. Anyone that tries to override the other in an inorganic way, it's going to be very, very violent. That's why I feel like the true master will know how to manipulate the natures of both. And as I've said before, they have to tell us the truth. So they use they created the industry of entertainment. So with the Matrix, Neo could control the machines, and he could control, in the synthetic virtual reality, the fake world. It's, and I know some beings are like anti-technology. I am not. I've been shown through my own guides and through my own, it's a personal experience for me that I don't feel comfortable sharing with at this time. It's not the right time to do that. Not currently anyway, but in the years to come, yes. But it's like when you know how to override technology with your own consciousness, and when you know how to override the natural and organic world, then I would say you're a true master of this reality. And this may take centuries, or it may take 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, 2 generations. The children that will come through the portals, again, they'll be able to override the biological and genetic manipulation of the virtual reality that will take place. And then the children who are born into the natural and organic world will be able to manipulate the natural and organic world in such a way that it would seem like they are a product of the virtual reality. So it's going to be incredibly powerful and beautiful time. Yes, I do see a war, and you can call it a spiritual war on consciousness, or an economic war, or a global fallout. I don't like to attach myself to anything, but I do see conflict here. I see an incredible amount of, I see weakness. So the energy, the strong energy outside of the dome that I see a lot of like weak-mindedness trying to knock over the strong. And when you claim your stake, when you claim and you pledge the natural, or to live in the natural organic reality, or natural organic simulation, you're going to be, you're going to be attacked by weak energies that will try to confuse you along the path, because you're lacking that safety and security. You know what makes people very safe? Jobs, having a roof over your head, having an income of some kind, whether you're depending on someone for an income, or you make your own, a vehicle to drive, or oil to buy to fill up, or gas to fill up your car. This gives you a sense of false liberation and freedom. In the natural world, you're kind of on your own. You should. I recommend you guys check out some bushcraft videos of people who just go out in the wilderness and they have nothing but a little pick and a loincloth. I mean, there are people who leave the virtual reality, leave the synthetic world, and they do this. They go out for 2 months, they make their YouTube video, upload it, because it's something within them. I already see it now. People who are, who can dance between both worlds. I don't think that there's just one path or one choice that you need to make in order to evolve. I really don't. I just see that this is just one story of trillions of possibilities. But I also see the possibility of liberation and freedom and a breakaway in the dome. And this means that yes, there may be a legit, like, you choose the natural world, and so there are two major tribes of humans, of people, right? And people in the synthetic world, they put on the crown of deception or the virtual goggles. They put on the crown of deception, virtual goggles, they wear the virtual watch, the virtual phone, virtual clothes, virtual everything, high-tech everything. And they do that for maybe 200 or 300 years. But then there's a glitch, there's a shift and a change where one of these children that they will genetically engineer, okay? One of these children will override the programming, and maybe not just one, but I just see a group of beings. They incarnate into this world, and they shift everything in the dome, in the virtual reality. And it sets everyone free. I don't see doom and gloom, but I do see major conflict, that a war of some type that I don't want to, I don't feel like I need to get into that, the whole doom and gloom and, people dying and starvation and stuff, because that's just part of it. It's ugly, the Western world has been blessed to not have to face that too often. But that's what I'm seeing here. So I see the two energies, and then I see a third energy, which is the ultimate. So you can take a step back from this sigil. I recommend you rewrite the sigil, and you tell me in the comments below what you feel when you write out the sigil yourself. Which energy do you feel pulled towards? Because I don't see the virtual reality being this, or I shouldn't say it's not evil, or the intention is pure and loving. It's not, okay? It's not, all right? It's not a good thing. I don't see it really serving anyone but a very small group of people. And that is so blatantly obvious. But at the same time, I'm not going to look down on people that want to wear the crown of deception. If you want to wear the crown of deception, just know that you're just going to be a tool for the coming evolution of consciousness. But you've agreed to go down that path in the synthetic world to do so. And I'm not going to look up to anybody in the natural and organic world. You have to be very careful. You cannot be a weak-minded person in the natural world, or you will falter. You have to be strong, and you have to have ambition. You have to be able to work together, to assemble, to put your ego aside, and to be open, and to look at people as your equal and not as someone who can be domineering, or someone who wants to control. Because I also see, here's another thing that source was telling me, the beginning of new religions, the beginning of new cults that will turn into religions, that will turn into like a new system, belief system, a completely different way of life. I can get into the polarization of these two different worlds in more detail, but I've been pulled to share that with you. So be very mindful, okay? Very heartful, and know your body. Know your body. Study your body. Put it through tests. Once, the hospital systems are still up, so get that blood work done. Know your genetic dispositions. Know your physical weaknesses. Know your physical limitations. Know what you can do. Learn what you can't do. Right? But you better have your stuff together. the people who choose the natural organic world, you need to develop a strong skill set or sets. No, because here's the thing with this great separation, and I was also shown in a dream, the people closest to you who have decided to take, dive into the synthetic virtual world, you're not going to be able to trust them. You have to be very careful now more than anything. I think you just have to really practice discernment. That's what I'm hearing right now. Like, practice discernment, because there will be moments where you will be shown things and you will know things, but you keep it to yourself, because not everything you know should be known by others for specific reasons. And then there will be moments where you have to stand up and shout to the rooftops of your belief. That came up so strongly in the last few dreams where, I don't know if it was me or my future self or another self in another dimension or time or someone else, another individual I was having this experience through in the dream. But you're going to have to stand up and speak your mind no matter, and you may possibly lose your life. It may be the end of you, but you would still have to stand firm and know when to speak your truth and know when to be silent, because that may or may not save many, 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 many people in the long run. And it will save many, 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 many conflicts. And I'm speaking to the human collective, not just, I don't know, I just want to make this clear that this is for the human collective. Because, and I say this for the human collective, is know when to speak and know when to be silent, because guess what? They set this up so beautifully, guys. Let's make a system, a program, a platform where we give everyone the freedom to say whatever they want. To say whatever they're feeling, to show everything about themselves. And the power of mystery is slowly being integrated out of the synthetic world. It's gonna get to the point where mystery will be a crime. How come we can't know your favorite foods? How come we can't know your status and where you're going or where you've traveled? How come we can't know what school you went to or if you're vaccinated or not? We need to know these things. They're going to make it a crime to have mystery, because mystery is dangerous, because mystery is unknown. You don't know the result. In the synthetic world, everything will be calculated to a T. Your food, your gas, how you travel, when you travel, when you visit family. Does this sound familiar to you? Everything will be monitored, and we're already monitoring each other. So again, I want to emphasize, you can choose, the natural organic world or the synthetic virtual reality, but know that both has their ups and both have their downs. I see strength and weakness. I see many, many, many cult leaders. Oh, wow. My fire just went out. Oh, that's significant. Wow. Let's see if I can relight this. There we go. Interesting. Right when I said that. I see one person and many people circling around this one leader like the Kaaba in the Middle East at Mecca, where you make your Hajj. For all the Muslims or ex-Muslims out there, that's what you do. You go around the Kaaba 7 times. And I see a person dressed in white with other people standing on this rock, and then hordes of people going around in circles around this one person. So you've got to be very careful. Either way, you have to be incredibly careful. I've chosen my path, and I'll keep that to myself. But if you watch my other videos on my other channels, it's pretty obvious. But you just better know what you're dealing with here, because trickery, it's everywhere. And remember that glass? I kept saying glass is different from a mirror. You don't know, you don't know when you hit a glass ceiling, right? Like, you don't know until you bump into it. Oh, crap, that's a glass door. But I see liberation in both. So that's the thing, I'm not limiting myself. Everyone references the Matrix. Everyone's like, oh, Neo, the one. Neo, N-E-O, and then O-N-E, the one, right? And then he finds out he's a program, and then it's like, oh my God, I'm a program? Then that means I can control, because he realized he was, in a simulation within a simulation within a simulation. And he also found out that he was a simulation. He was a program, an algorithm of zeros and ones. So it's like, well, if I'm zeros and ones, then you're zeros and ones, and we're all the same, then I can manipulate you. I can manipulate my realities. And then he, quote unquote, dies. I don't know. It just ended weird for me, that whole series. But nonetheless, it really woke people up, or helped them become self-aware of consciousness itself and the turn of, the 21st century. So it's very pretty interesting, that. But yeah, I don't see, because I see evil on one side as well. I see evil on the other. I see love and courage and community and spiritual growth and evolution in the natural organic world. Woo! Ooh. And I just see so much strength. I see so much strength in the natural organic world. Like someone who's mastered, who can just levitate, fly, and use their energies and chi, and they can just do unimaginable things that we've forgotten as humans. And then on the other side, I see a lot of, it's a different type of strength. This person's head is gone, but it's aware. It can control its environment through its connection to it. It's this weird blending of technology. It's almost like in the virtual world, they become the wall, they become the piece of paper, and they become the table in the room, they become the floor, they become everything that is false in the virtual reality. Thus they can manipulate it and evolve and override the programs. So I see liberation in a different kind. So no path is bad or evil. I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing just what the sum of the possibilities of both. Wow. Yeah, be very careful. When listening to whatever you're consuming, when someone's telling you, oh, virtual reality is the best, it's great, you should do it, I'm doing it too. Question it. When someone says the natural organic world is the best, it's so great, question it. When someone says the natural and organic world is just so primitive and so horrible and evil, question it. When someone says the virtual reality is so evil, it's coming for you, question it. Because you have to really understand, whatever stand, okay? All these new age terms I'm trying to keep up with. Listen, Know that you are both. Okay? There's a reason why I'm sharing this, and I know it, but it's just not the right space or time to get into my deeper reason why I'm sharing this, because I haven't been guided by source to do so. But I will say, like, if you can, both, there's limitations and there's liberations. That's all I'm seeing with this. There's both of them in both spaces of consciousness. But the true master of both realities will be able to go in between without a blink of an eye. They're not going to be limited. They will be unlimited beings because they know that they're infinite. It's very easy to say that you're infinite being, but it's a whole nother ballgame when you literally can demonstrate that on a consistent, with every breath that you take, with every inhale and exhale. There are moments where humans can experience certain things, and we're used as conduits, we're used as channels and mediums to deliver messages of consciousness, but then we go back to being a human. My love, he said something that was really interesting. He says, there are moments where I'm a teacher, and then there's a moment where I'm a man just taking a poop. And it's very interesting. He goes, I'm not a spiritual teacher when I'm taking a poop. I'm just a man sitting down taking a poop. And then there's a moment where I'm a spiritual teacher. So it's like you truly will have to be just fluid. Be like water, my friend. So in conclusion to this, thank you so much for tuning into today's transmission in the day of Mercury, Wednesday, okay? The day of communication, and may this message find you well and whole. Again, please tune in to check out Zen Wombs. She's another prophetess that's, she's on the right path. If you're wanting to learn more about the natural organic simulation, the natural organic world and reality, and how to get closer to that, she's a great person to watch. As far as the virtual reality thing, I don't know too many other people that talk about that, because but there will be sages in the virtual reality. Oh my God, I blew it out again. Interesting. Wow, my candle just went out yet again. Wow. Okay. That's the second time. Interesting. So yeah, if you have any questions regarding the message, please leave a comment below. Again, I look forward to connecting with you all. And one more thing here, because I'm all about, this YouTube channel. I think it's great. But there will be a certain number of these messages that I will be putting out, and then there will be no more of them in this way. So it will evolve in the coming months or coming moons, or there will be a shift. But all in good time. So check out my music channel and my Seeds of Silvertree, where I that's more focused on how to conscious art, how to make conscious clothing. It's very conscious creativity, and it's focused more on building a skill set, because we're gonna need it. We're gonna need it. Okay? Thank you so much. Remember, embrace supreme loving guidance. Source is number one. Source is within you, not without you. Number two, expand your consciousness beyond all limitation, and know that you are liberation. Okay? And three, evolve your human being. That's why we're here, beings of whatever star system or whatever consciousness you come from. Like you're incarnated in this life, in this reality, to help evolve the human species. You are human. Get in tune with that. It's not evil, it's not good, it's just an experience. Evolve. No choice is worse or better than the other, it's just a choice. True consciousness has no limitation. True consciousness is ever evolving and ever infinite. It is beyond death. It is beyond what we call this life. It just is. It is the state of being. I will leave you with that. Thank you.